The shadow that never left in a city where the sun rose right on time and the streets were never dark, lived the man. He had everything: a white office, a shiny screen, 2 coffees every morning, 3 meetings before lunch. His day began without official light, and in that light, he searched for meaning. But lately, he started noticing something strange. Even at noon, with sunlight on his face, a shadow always lingered behind him. "It's normal," laughed his co-workers. "You're just standing in the light." But he saw it in the mirror, in the dark, even in dreams. At first, the shadow said nothing. It simply followed, danced across office walls, in the subway, in strangers' windows. But one morning, between a sip of coffee and another call, he heard, "Do you even remember who you are?" He turned sharply. No one. But something ached in his chest, as if the heart remembered what the mind had long forgotten. He became afraid, closed the blinds, slept with the lamp on, switched off all the lights. "This isn't real. Just exhaustion," he told himself. But the more he ran, the louder the voice grew. "I'm not your enemy. I'm what you buried." And then he realized the shadow wasn't outside. It was within. One day, he looked into the mirror, just wanted to comb his hair. A normal morning, but suddenly froze. The reflection didn't move. He raised his hand. It stood still. He leaned in. It stayed upright and stayed straight into his eyes. "I am you, the part you left behind. Where did you come from?" "I was always here, but you lived too loud to hear me." He ran. From the mirror, from the room, from himself. He turned everything on, music, TV, the news, just to drown it out. But no sound could silence the stillness. "You ran from pain," the voice said. "I don't want to know you, but I am who you could have become." The shadow no longer hid. It sat beside him, looked through his eyes. He thought he was going mad. But for the first time, it was an honest madness. That night, he left the house. No purpose, just walked, like in a dream. Old streets, darkness, flickering streetlights that seemed to breathe. And then, around the corner, figures. Gray, silent, like dawn fog. "Are you looking for the sage?" "I'm looking for silence." "Then you must face everything you've hidden." He nodded and walked on. At the edge of the city, where pavement ended in ruins and trees grew from concrete, he saw a man, sitting on a stump, in darkness, neither old nor young. "Are you the sage?" the man asked. The sage said nothing, but his silence was louder than any scream. It tightened the chest, shattered thoughts, forced him to listen. "I came because a shadow haunts me. It speaks to me, says I abandoned myself." And only when a tea touched his cheek, the sage spoke. "Your shadow isn't speaking. It's crying. How do I get rid of it?" The sage stood up, picked up a stone, placed it in the man's hand. "If this stone is your pain, and you throw it away, where does it go?" "To the ground, but it remains, and someone else may pick it up. Maybe your son, maybe your future self, maybe the shadow. Don't throw the stone. Transform it." The sage paused, handed him a small seed. "Plant the shadow. Watch what it becomes." But it's dark. So is night. Yet night gives birth to light. Shadow isn't the enemy. It's soil for truth. The man knelt to the ground, pressed the seed into a crack in the stone. And for the first time, the shadow behind him vanished. It sank into the earth, becoming part of something new. But when the shadow disappeared, he didn't feel relief. He felt emptiness. Without it, "I am nothing," he whispered. The sage silently took out a mirror. Simple, round, cracked. "Look in, but don't seek your face. Seek your gaze." He stared, long, and saw not eyes, but masks. Mask of success, mask of intellect, mask of happiness. And beneath them, emptiness. And beneath that, a child, just waiting to be held. "I don't know who I am," he admitted. "That's already more than pretending to know who you're not," said the sage. "But what if I never find myself?" "You don't need to find yourself. You need to return to yourself." And then he remembered. Not a name, not a title, not a role, a voice. The same one from childhood. Be real. All this time I searched for light outside, but never lit my own. The sage stood, because true light is born in darkness, and only one who's walked through the shadow can truly shine. And something stirred in his chest, like a lamp long unplugged, remembering fire. He returned to the city. People rushed, cars honked, phones rang, everything the same, and yet different, because now he heard himself. And when someone stepped on his foot, he didn't get angry. And when voices yelled, he didn't flinch, because his shadow no longer frightened him. It walked beside him, not an enemy, but a part of him. In a cafe, a woman said, "Sorry, but you're glowing." "What?" he asked. "There's a strange calm about you. Warmth. Like the shadow doesn't touch you." He smiled. "I'm just no longer afraid of what lives inside me." That evening, he sat in a park. A young man approached, nervous, restless. "Sorry, can I sit with you for a bit? You seem like you'd understand." He nodded. "I once sat with someone who didn't speak, but changed everything," and closed his eyes, and heard his shadow no longer whispered to him. It spoke to the world, through presence, through silence, through the gaze. That night, sitting on the floor, wrapped in a blanket, he saw it again. The shadow, calm, soft, like candle smoke. "You came back." "No, I never left. But now, I walk beside you, not behind you." "Are you me?" "I'm the part you've learned to love. And if I lose myself again, then I'll remind you of your name." And he remembered the sage words, "When you stop running from the dark, it reveals a light that needs no lamp, no sun, no sky, because true light is born in you." And when he fell asleep that night, in complete darkness, for the first time in years, he saw no shadow, because it had become the light.